Thank you for tuning in to Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. There are currently 26 active cases of COVID-19 here in the Halton region. 5 of those cases are in Burlington, 7 in Oakville, 11 in Milton, and 3 in Halton Hills. In total, our region has reported 956 COVID-19 cases since the beginning of March. The largest number of people who tested positive had been exposed to the virus through contact with an infected person, but a great number contracted it while out and about in the community as well. 150 of the cases in Burlington were a result of an outbreak in a long-term care home, retirement residence, or hospital, and the remaining cases were travel-related. The region has also broken down the numbers by age group affected, and here in Halton, those between the ages of 20 and 59 represent the majority, or 62% of all those who have tested positive. The Jiffy Lube on Appleby Line near Mainway caught fire Saturday morning. 21 firefighters were on scene to battle the blaze. 3 of them were injured when the ceiling collapsed. Fortunately, the injuries were minor, and those firefighters have since been released from hospital. The fire was believed to be caused by an electrical failure, and the damage is estimated at $150,000. Well, the Conservative Party of Canada has their new leader. Melissa Candelaria had a chance to speak with Wellington-Halton Hills MP Michael Chong to talk about what's next for the party.
The results for the final test: Mr. McKay, 14,528 points. Mr. O'Toole, 19,271 points. Aaron O'Toole is the new leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Congratulations, Mr. O'Toole.
Technical glitches may have delayed results for several hours Sunday night, but the Conservative Party of Canada has their new leader. MP for Durham Region Aaron O'Toole won on third ballot, leaving Peter McKay in second. Wellington-Halton Hills MP Michael Chong says it was a good win for O'Toole.
Aaron won convincingly last night. He won with 57% of the vote on the final ballot, so I think he's got a strong mandate to take the party forward. That's different than last time when we were looking at a very narrow margin of, I think it was 51% to 49%. So it's a convincing win, and I'm excited about the new leader. I'm excited about the fact that we're now out of limbo, and now we have a clear course ahead of us that we're going to chart in the fall and going into the next election.
We must continue to point out Liberal failings and corruption, but we must also show Canadians our vision for a stronger, prosperous, and more united Canada. Canada can and must do better.
In his speech, O'Toole not only promised to keep the Liberal government accountable, he also outlined a strong vision for the party's future, which Chong says is well underway.
When we compare the federal Conservative Party to the other federal parties, we've raised more money in the last quarter than any other party. The leadership candidates raised a record amount of money during a pandemic and during some very difficult economic times. And in the last election, we won the most number of votes across the country. We won the greatest percentage of the popular vote. So Aaron inherits a party that's in very strong position to take on this Liberal government and win in the next election. So I'm happy that he's inherited this party in such a strong position. That said, I'm equally happy that he's acknowledged that that's not good enough, that we need to grow, that we need to increase our appeal to a broader group of Canadians.
Now that the leader has been chosen, Chong says there are 2 main priorities O'Toole should work on in order to be successful in the next election.
The first is we need to unify the party. After an election leadership contest, it's always the number one task of a leader to unify the party. Leadership contests are bruising, they're family feuds, and the new leader has to unite the various factions of the party into a united whole. That's the first thing he needs to do. The second thing he needs to do is he needs to come forward with a positive vision for Canadians that broadens the appeal of the party beyond what we got in the last election. So we need to have credible policies on the environment, we need to have credible policies on the economy, and we have to be socially inclusive. We have to be a party of Canadians of all races, religions, creeds, and backgrounds, a party that any Canadian from coast to coast feels comfortable being a part of.
Friends, now the real work begins. We could be into an election campaign as soon as this fall. But as more than 260,000 passionate Conservatives have already shown in this record-breaking leadership amidst a pandemic, the Conservative Party will be ready for the next election, and we will win the next election.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
You would be hard-pressed to find a person who likes mosquitoes, but they're especially concerning now that 2 separate batches of mosquitoes in Halton have tested positive for the West Nile virus. Nikki Wesley reports.
In late July, mosquitoes in Oakville were the first to test positive for West Nile virus in Halton this year. Last week, a second batch of mosquitoes trapped in Milton tested positive. Manager of enteric and vector-borne diseases, Dimitra Kazimos, explains how the region is combating the problem.
We're trying to reduce the risk of West Nile virus to the public by reducing the number of mosquitoes. Larviciding actually kills the mosquito larvae before they become adult mosquitoes.
There are approximately 300 sites across Halton that are tested weekly for mosquito larvae, including storm water management ponds, field pools, and woodland pools.
The students came this morning to do some surveillance of the stormwater management ponds. So what they do is they take some samples of water and look to see if they can find mosquito larvae. If mosquito larvae are present, and we know that this particular pond has mosquito larvae and they're a species of concern, then we start larviciding the ponds and monitoring on a regular basis.
These little hairy guys here, these are the mosquito larvae, and they react to sun and movement, so you can see them kind of curling around the bottom of the dipper.
The first confirmed human case of West Nile was reported 2 weeks ago. They are continuing to test around Halton.
Been monitoring by setting up adult mosquito traps throughout Halton region. We have a number of locations, all the way up to Georgetown, Burlington, Oakville, and Milton.
While most people with West Nile will have no symptoms, others may experience fever, headache, muscle ache, or a rash. Halton Region Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Hamida Magani, said, "These symptoms are very similar to illnesses such as COVID-19, so it's important for residents who are concerned or experiencing symptoms to seek medical assessment. Until the hard frosts of fall set in, Halton residents should continue to protect themselves."
We encourage people to take some personal precautions. Try to avoid being out in the early morning and late evening when mosquitoes are most active. If they can't be out, or if they have to be out during that time, then to wear light-colored, long-sleeve clothing, pants, and any exposed skin, they can use an insect repellent, preferably one containing DEET. The other things people can do is try to reduce standing water around their home by discarding any water that might be in small containers like flower pots. If they have a bird bath, emptying it out once a week and changing the water will reduce the standing water, the mosquitoes in the standing water as well. So more information about West Nile virus and the up-to-date on the human cases and positive pools can be found on our website at halton.ca.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
The Halton Region Summer Company program has helped numerous young Halton residents over the years to start their own business. Nikki Wesley was able to catch up with one of those budding entrepreneurs.
Audney Cachet-Stewart heard about the Halton Region Summer Company program and applied this year, hoping it would keep her occupied during COVID.
At the time, I was helping one of my church members with their small business and getting them on social media. So then I had the idea to, have a play of words on my first name, Cachet, and start a small marketing business for small Black businesses.
The program gives young entrepreneurs a business startup grant, access to a business mentor, and the Halton Region Small Business Center. She found out she was accepted in late May, and Cash In Social Media Marketing was born.
Yeah, so Cash In Social Media Marketing, we help small businesses navigate their social medias to increase their engagement and bring them more customers. So where I come in is I'm able to take over and manage their social media accounts from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I create their graphics, or I'm able just to send them graphics that they're able to post. I also can create ad campaigns and consult with my clients.
So far, she has several clients who are quite happy to have employed her services.
They really like that I'm able to take that burden off of them. social media is overwhelming, and when you're running a small business, it's hard to manage everything from creating the posts, creating stories, being consistent. So when you're able to have someone take that, weight off yourself, it's a great relief.
Her decision to focus on helping small Black businesses stems from her personal passion.
Even before the tragic events happening with George Floyd and the recent protests, I am very involved with the Black community, and I'm very passionate about our community being entrepreneurs and starting small businesses.
She was the co-founder of the Black Student Union and Alliance at her high school and is currently working with the Toronto group Black Women in Motion. When she found out she was accepted into the program, she was excited to be given the opportunity to inspire others.
When I saw that a very competitive program such as the Halton Region Summer Company Program accepted me, it was such an honor, and I really knew that I was able to make an impact being the only Black person in my cohort this year, and being a Black woman in business. It's very, very rewarding to know that I can inspire more people to, reach out to other grants and have an impact on their community. And I can actually do some work.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
The Oakville Chamber of Commerce is thrilled to launch today the BDC Stronger Together Business Resiliency Awards. The awards will honor Oakville small businesses that have shown strength and resiliency during the COVID-19 lockdown and reopening. Oakville Chamber President Drew Redden joined me today via Zoom to share those details with you.
In partnership with BDC, KMD Law, Heineck Financial Group, and OTBX Air Videography, we have launched the Business Resiliency Awards. So our business community, as everybody knows, has been hard hit during COVID. But there's been so many good stories that we've heard over that time as well. Businesses being innovative, businesses pivoting to shift their business model, supporting their customers. So we want to flood our airways and our channels with these good news stories. So we are calling on the Oakville community to nominate businesses that they know that they support in Oakville that have been resilient during this difficult time. Once we go have these nominees, 5 businesses will be selected, and during Small Business Week, we will profile a different business each day. The 5 recipients will all get a video sharing their story, how they've been resilient, how they've come through COVID, and get that word out across our whole community.
Small Business Week is the 3rd week in October. The Oakville Chamber will sort through those nominations throughout September, pick the winners, shoot the videos, and feature them throughout that Small Business Week. If you have a business to nominate, now is the time to do so. Drew Redden has those details as well.
Please go to our oakvillechamber.com website. On there, it's a really short nomination form. There's 4 or 5 questions. We're trying to gather as many stories as we can. We want to hear these stories, and we have a dedicated group of chamber volunteers that will be going through all the nominations to select the successful candidates. But it's time to start sharing some of these good news stories. Businesses have had a tough time, and let's celebrate the resiliency of our business community here in Oakville.
The Burlington Food Bank is seeing an increased number of those using their services, but a decrease in donations. This is expected in the summertime, but they could really benefit from your help if you're in a position to assist. The executive director of the Burlington Food Bank shares what donations would be most helpful at this time.
Things are at the food bank. We've actually had a bit of an uptick in terms of people who are using us at the food bank. And the regular thing that happens to us every summer is our donations have dropped as far as food goes, and even financial donations. So we're still in a great spot to be able to support all those people who need our help. So if you need our help, make sure that you're contacting us either via email or giving us a phone call. And if you're out and about, one of the weird things that we're starting to look for now is our large soups. We're going through those quite quickly, as well as chickpeas and kidney beans and those types of things. And the bigger one for us is actually cereal right now. We keep telling people that we need cereal. We could use cereal. And finally, if you want to, you can go onto our website and donate to us. If cash is the way that you want to be able to support us, it really allows us to be able to purchase the things that we need to purchase for our clients. So we really appreciate those cash donations. And again, thank you so much for the continued support of all of you here in Burlington. And anything we can do to help you, make sure that you're contacting us.
Still ahead, this year's hike for Hospice and a look to how local business can help shape post-pandemic recovery. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. Townsend Smith Hospice Foundation have opened up registration for their upcoming Hike for Hospice, which is taking place next month. But like most events, the foundation has had to go virtual.
This hike this year is going to be fantastic. It's going to be our third hike, but our first ever virtual hike. And what does that mean? What it means is we want everybody doing our Hike for Hospice separate. Leave your house, meet up in a park with your bubble, walk with your family, bike with your family that day, but do it separately. You can sign up on our website, www.townsend-smith.ca. There is a spot there to register for the Hike for Hospice, September 26th, and you get to go at any point during that day, snap a selfie, send us some pics, use the hashtag Hike for Hospice. This is such a special project, and we don't want the support to stop COVID or non-COVID times. The undercurrent of support for the community has been immense. Why? We all need it. There is not this service available to us in Acton, Georgetown, Milton, and that is absolutely not okay. So we can come together and hike. It's a small thing that we can do for a big cause.
We are under a heat advisory in Halton, and as we head into our 5-day outlook, here's a look out from Bayshore Park in Burlington as two swans enjoy the water. Today was certainly a hot one, and tomorrow is looking like more of the same. A high of 28 degrees tomorrow afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. More clouds will roll in overnight as we hit a low of 11, and things will cool down a bit for Wednesday, only reaching 24 degrees with cloud cover. And by evening, we'll be looking at a 60% chance of showers. That 60% chance of rain continues into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday will be another scorcher at 32 degrees in the afternoon. 27 is Friday's high, and then a bit of reprieve from that heat again on Saturday, only reaching 24 degrees. If you're a business owner, operator, or management executive, then Milton Economic Development wants to hear from you. There is a joint survey being conducted that only takes 10 minutes, and the results will be used to inform how Milton and the region can support businesses and help our local economy recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. To have your voice heard, please call 905-878-7252. The deadline for completion is August 28th. And now a look to how some of Halton's top companies performed on the markets today. Still ahead, the importance of exercising your mind in addition to your body. More on that ahead. Welcome back to Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. We all know how important physical exercise can be, but how often do you assess your brain fitness? It can be even more important in these troubling times. Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya, a local psychiatrist, explains.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashok Bhattacharya from the Empathy Clinic in Oakville, talking to you during the pandemic crisis. So I want to talk about brain fitness today. So back in med school, I was also an aerobics instructor to put myself through. And I noticed at the end of those 90-minute classes, there was lots of laughter and fun. And that, I thought, was a great way to push away the blues or anxiety. So the way I look at the brain, it can also be compared to a series of muscles. And it's really important to exercise all of those muscles so you can have brain fitness. So the front part of your brain is the thinking part of your brain. It's a big muscle. The next comes the motor part of the brain, which looks after moving your legs and your arms and controlling your movement. In the back, we have sensory processing and balance. And in the deep part of the brain, we have an area that looks after emotions and controls memory processing. People have a tendency to ruminate a lot. And rumination is partly mental rehearsing over and over again to get things perfect. But that's not very good if you're trying to fall asleep. So it's a really good practice to know how to shut off the front part of your brain so you can give the other parts of the brain a chance to do their exercise and get some brain fitness. So meditation or breathing exercises or yoga class or Tai Chi or something like that can be very, very helpful to shut off the front part of your brain. Especially if you can do it with a friend or a partner. It makes it more fun. Physical exercise, as I said before, is a wonderful way to exercise your motor cortex. It also works as a natural antidepressant too. Practicing balance, like riding a bicycle or even standing on one leg, as long as you don't fall down, of course, is a wonderful way to fire up the back part of your brain. We also have two halves to our brain. We have a left side and a right side. Now, if we spend too long on one side of the brain, we can get very stressed, fatigued, and tired. We can even stop caring about what we're focused on if we don't give that part of the brain a break. So the left part of our brain takes care of logical thinking and ordering, also linear thinking, like which light bulb has gone out if you're putting up your Christmas tree. It figures out math and facts and also how to come up with sentences and words. The right part of the brain takes care of imagination and concepts, intuition, art and music, as well as nonverbal communication, which is figuring out what someone said aside from the words that they used. Also looks after feelings and daydreaming. So both halves of the brain like to be active at different parts of the day. It's a great idea to keep going back and forth from the left to the right side of your brain to give both parts a break. Your brain loves to do that. And also, guess what? You sleep a whole lot better. So grab a friend, grab a loved one, or do a Zoom video if you prefer. And that way you can practice brain fitness today, sleep well, and stay safe. Take care.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning into Halton News right here on your TV. We'll be back with another live edition tomorrow night at 5:30. Until then, I invite you to connect with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at YourTVHalton. You can also connect with us via email at haltonnews@cogeco.com. Feel free to send us any comments, questions, or story ideas. And if you'd like to see more content, please visit us online at yourtv.tv. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.